Well, what's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to a Therapeutic Edge. It is lovely to have you here today. Hey, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button if you're new to the channel. I'd love to have you here on a regular basis. If you like knife content, you've come to the right place. I'm a knife overviewer. I do reviews. Mostly we just have fun with sharp and slicey objects. So if that's your thing, and I try to cover as a wide variety as possible. So anyway, if that's your thing, stick around. This is the Tempest Knives Pinion. This is a now in pre-order release from KC. He has a channel called Knives Fast. I will post a link to that in the description, and I will post a link to the Tempest Knives website as well. He decided a while back that he wanted to get into knife design, and he did. And his first attempt was a knife called the Mach 51, which was all titanium and sort of high-end steel. I loved it, but I have my own taste in knives, as we all do. But it didn't really catch the attention of the public as well as it should have, in my opinion. And so it sort of ended. And rather than giving up, and this is something I really like about KC, he went, okay. So he took some elements of that knife and came forward with a more budget-friendly knife in 14C28 and G10. It's got steel liners. This Pinion is that knife, and the pre-sale goes on until the 15th of this month, at which point they will also be available for sale, I think, once they're finished being made. This is a great pocket knife. It is, and I'm really happy I get a chance to take a look at it. Action is very good. Deployment is from this deployment hole with the fuller right through here, right? It's very smooth, very easy to do. It's got a little forward choil that you can get forward on if you want to. The handle is a lovely sort of neutral shape. This one is G10, but they do one in micarta as well. It does have a G10 backspacer. It's got a wire clip that is the same size as the Spyderco clips back here, so you can replace this with titanium if you wanted to. It's got a really nice pivot. Look at that. Right? KC is really into racing, hence the Mach 51. The Pinion is a little more mellow. Now, this is a prototype. And that means, as you can see, that, well, maybe you can't, but the prototype is in AUS 10 because that's just what they had available at the factory when they made it. There are some subtle variations from this and the knife that will come from the factory, but not many. He really sort of nailed the design right off the bat. So let's take a look at what you get on the Tempest Knives Pinion. And then you can form your own opinion. I'm sorry, I had to. Forgive me. Okay. You get just a hair over 3 inches of cutting on 3 1/4 inches of 14C. Now, I'm going to do the specs based on what you will be getting, right? On 14C 28N. Grip area from when I hold this thing, because it's a nice full-size handle, I'm actually back here into this sort of forward choil, like this right here. So you get 1, 2, 3, and 3/4 all the way to the back. So it is a full-size handle. Very comfortable and well done. The liners are steel and they are milled. It is a liner lock, as you can see, and the prototype here is locked up at about 40%, 35%. Really nice cutout on the side here to give you access to the lock bar, right? Very nice. You can roll it out, by the way, too, if you're not a flicker. You can roll it out. It's got a nice stonewash on the blade. The hardware is all steel. It's T8 at the pivot and T6s towards here in the back. And he gave you the option of doing either side. It is an ambi knife, ambidextrous. You can flip that around. Thanks, dog. You okay? All right. It's fun to flick. It really is. Knife overall from tip to tails coming in at 7 3/4. Closed profile. Closed length, excuse me, is 4 1/2. And the closed profile on this thing is a joy. I mean, we're talking about 1 1/4 inch, no flipper. So when this thing is in the pocket, it is not going to be dinging or digging into the stuff that you are carrying with it. And because it has a wire clip, which, as I said, you can replace with a Spyderco clip, the titanium stuff from MXG or any other company if you'd like, it's really sort of subtle, and it is nice and deep carry. Right? Just a little bit of knife sticking out. Now, I know the reason I keep bringing up the alternate clips, which cost about 30 bucks, is because not everybody loves a wire clip. I do. I love how subtle they are and how well they slide in and out of the pocket. But if you don't, you can do other things. So just keep that in mind. Casey, you did good, man. Oh, this thing is really nice. Let's do some size comparisons, just so for those of you that like that sort of thing, for the visual learners out there in the audience. We'll go ahead and line that up right there on that line. First and foremost, here's against the Hogue Deca, which, as you can see, is considerably smaller. You get about the same amount of blade, about cutting surface, but you get a lot more handle on the Pinion. And if you've got big hands, that matters. I love the Deca, right? But my pinky is coming right to the very end, and if I hold it forward, like, if I'm going to cut this way, I'm off the end. The Pinion is not like that. Here it is against a Para 3. As you can see, it is bigger than the Para 3. I mean, it would be. And of course, the PM2, the ubiquitous PM2. And it is considerably shorter than the PM2, although you get the same amount of cutting. So, it's kind of a trade-off. If the PM2 is your size, the handles are the grip area in the handles, by the way, is very similar, as you can see. So if the PM2 is your size knife, the Pinion is going to lean into it. If the Para 3 is your size knife, I think you're still going to like the Pinion because it's sort of in the middle here, right? The Pinion falls nicely in the middle of those three knives. Now, what if you're not a Spyderco guy or a Hogue guy? How big is this thing? Well, here it is against the full-size sheep's foot Griptilian. And these knives, right, again, Griptilian's just a bigger knife, right, as you can see, but not enormously so. We're talking about a 1/4 inch on either end, right? So the Pinion is right in there. And just for fun, here it is against the new Benchmade tagged out. Just because I love having this knife. It makes me very happy. Anyway, the Pinion is right-sized. It is. It's big enough to be comfortable. It's big enough to make you feel like you're holding something substantial. It's well-made. And yet, it's not enormous and bulky. It is smooth in the pocket. It's a great cutter. And now you're probably asking yourself, well, thanks, jackass, how much do these cost? Well, the G10 versions are about 75 bucks. And the micarta version is 85 bucks. And for 14C, done well, with this kind of shaped scales, right? They're not just flat slabs. There's a little bit of milling there. Yeah, okay. You can get these materials for a lot less money from sort of a no-name brand, but Casey is a good guy. He just is. And he put himself into this really thoroughly. And so if the materials are up your alley, and if 75 bucks is not a deal breaker for you, and it shouldn't be for a knife that's this well made, grab one of these. Again, link will be in the description. Now, you may be asking yourself, are you just saying these things because Casey is your friend? No. Nope. Lots of people send me knives. You've never seen them if I don't like them, because I don't do negative reviews. There are some knives that I pick apart pretty thoroughly, particularly if they're very popular and I don't like them. But for the most part, if somebody has put themselves, their heart and soul, into the design of a knife, and I don't like it, I recognize that often just because I don't like a thing doesn't mean it's bad. And so rather than take apart somebody's dreams on my channel, I just choose not to review stuff I don't like right off the bat. Now, if there is a knife that I do sort of like, but it's got some problems, you will hear about that. But basically what I'm saying is if Casey had sent this to me and I picked it up and I went, yeah, it wouldn't be on the channel. That's not what happened. This thing landed, and Casey, I'm so sorry. We've had this thing way too long. I just ended up liking it a ton. Enough that I ordered one for myself with my own hard-earned money. So, and I ordered the G10 version, by the way. So if you're interested, want to know which one I got basically this exact knife. So there you have it. This is the Tempest Knives Pinion. It is a KC design. It is going to be sold, I think, exclusively on the Tempest Knives website. The pre-order runs from now until the 15th of September, and you can get yourself one if you're interested. And I hope you do. A, to support Casey. B, because it's a really nice knife. It is a great budget-friendly option. It's a nice slicer. Its ergonomics are really anyway, you've heard all that. Don't sleep on this. I think you'll be disappointed in yourself if you do. Anyway, we're going to drop it there. Thank you so much, Casey, for letting us take a look at this. Thank you all for watching. Again, this has been the Tempest Knives Pinion. I have been your humble host, A Therapeutic Edge. We'll see you next time. Take care.